how to knit the bubble beanie hat. Hi guys, I'm Kristen. My recent bubble stitch pattern was a big hit with all of you, so I thought it would be great if I designed a hat that we can all knit up together this winter. This hat pattern is perfect if you are in love with the bubble stitch pattern and are comfortable knitting on circular needles. Now, if you are up for a challenge, I have all the knitting techniques that you need to know linked in the description below. So it is entirely possible for people fairly new to knitting to give this a try. This is also a great stash buster. Every single little bubble section, it's 6 rows. I measured about 10 yards per color. And so I am knitting this up in some stash yarn here. For the pattern, everything you need to know is available on my website, linked in the description below. And to receive a free printable PDF pattern, all you have to do is join my mailing list to download that. I also have a link for you to pin this pattern to save for later on your Pinterest board. And for even more knit stitch patterns, I have a playlist that you can check out here on YouTube. I also have a new knit stitch pattern book that is printable. It is available to purchase on Etsy. Oh, and YouTube has just granted me the community tab. This is a great way for us to communicate together on YouTube. And my current poll is showing me that you are excited to see a knitted hat pattern. So great to know that, as well as the fact that you are interested in holiday gift guides. So I am working on those. Make sure you are subscribed to Studio Knit so that you catch those as soon as they come out. And for your knitting materials, you're going to use a circular needle. It is size 8 and it's 16 inches in length. You also want 4 double-pointed needles, DPNs, and those are also size 8, as well as scissors, a tapestry needle, and of course yarn. I'm using 3 different colors in this example. You can use 1 color, 2 colors, as many as you'd like. So let's get started. We are going to be casting on a specific number because this is a stretchy hat and it fits most adult-sized heads. So using the circular needle, we are casting on 64 stitches. I'm just doing the simple long tail cast on method here and go all the way around. Once you have cast on 64 stitches, make sure that your stitches are not twisted. Now, if knitting in the round on circular needles is new to you, I have the technique linked down below, a really great tutorial on how to knit on circular needles. So let's knit it up. We start from the bottom here, and the bottom is a 2x2 rib stitch pattern. Really simple. So it's just knitting 2 stitches. This is our very first row for our hat brim. And then you purl 2 stitches and you just go all the way around your hat for 6 rows. And then this is how our 2x2 rib stitch pattern looks after knitting up all 6 rows. And now we're doing an increase section. It's just 6 rows. If you would like to change yarn colors, this is a great time to do it. You do not need to change yarn colors, but it does look really great. So rows 1, 3, and 5 are simply knitting all the way around, but we're going to increase on rows 2, 4, and 6. So the increase stitch is KFB. That means knit front and back. So let me show you here. You knit right into it and then you bring it around and you knit one more time into the back of that stitch for the increase. And again, you're doing that on rows 2, 4, and 6 so that we have 3 additional stitches when we're done right here, and it will just look like a really pretty stockinette when you've done all 6 rows. Now for the bubble stitch portion of our hat. Again, this is a great time to switch yarn if you'd like. And on row 1, we're going to be knitting 3. So just with my new yarn color here, I'm going to knit 3 stitches. And then it is a repeat of K4B, that's knit 4 below. And I have a full tutorial on knitting 4 below. If you haven't done this before, it could look a little freaky because we are intentionally dropping 4 stitches, and it's actually pretty satisfying to get control of these stitches after dropping so many and then having it create such a pretty bubble pattern. So let me just show you here. You take that stitch and you go around and you knit into it. I have a full tutorial on how to do the knit 4 below. If this is something that's new to you, you'll definitely want to check that out and get acquainted with it so that you're really comfortable, because you're doing it a lot for this hat pattern. And then you're just going to, again, knit 3 and then knit 4 below all the way around, and this is how it looks. The bubbles shape up after just doing one little row. And I'm using a stitch counter, a little digital device that I have right here to kind of help me keep track of my rows, and this is how it's looking after 6 rows. Now we're going to do row 7. This is a great time to switch yarn color again, and we just do 1 knit stitch and then we go straight in to the K4B, the knit 4 below. So let's take a look again at this fun and freaky little stitch, the K4B, where we're intentionally dropping 4 stitches, and then we pick it up right here. We bring our needle to the back, and then we take our yarn and we bring it around, knit it on through that stitch, and we carry on. And this is how our hat is looking after completing all 12 rows of the bubble stitch. And of course, you just keep repeating these 12 rows. Keep knitting your bubble stitch pattern until your hat measures about 7 inches if you would like a regular size beanie, 9 inches if you'd like a slouchy beanie. Another way to determine the perfect length for you is to get one of your favorite hats and sort of match it up and see. You just need a little bit here for the crown right on top, and so you can just keep knitting until it gets right to the point where your favorite hat is. And our decreases for the crown of our hat switch to DPNs when the decreases are making it too tough to knit on your circular needle, and you'll just follow along the pattern. It is knitting 2 together is the decrease, and the pattern will tell you exactly how many stitches to do the regular knit stitch and the knit 2 together. And you'll see you keep going around and around the top of your hat until it gets to having just 5 stitches, and then you'll take your tapestry needle with your yarn tail and you'll just weave it through. And then I like to just cinch up those last few stitches a couple more times and take the needle down into the inside portion of your hat, and you can go ahead and weave in that yarn tail. Cut off that yarn, and then any other little yarn tails that you have, go ahead, weave those in, cut those off. This is what the inside, the wrong side of our hat looks like with the bubble stitch. It actually looks kind of cool. And you'll just turn it right side out, and guess what, guys? You are done. I hope you are inspired to knit up this bubble beanie hat pattern. Please like up this video. Check out everything you need to know linked in the description below, and I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!